The secret power of the television.
A teacher from primary school asks her students to write an essay about what they would like God to do for them. At the end of the day, while marking the essays, she read one that made her very emotional. Her husband, who had just walked in, saw her crying and asked her what happened. She answered, "Read this, it is one of my students' essay. Oh God, tonight I ask you something very special. Make me into a television. I want to take its place and live like the TV in my house. Have my own special place and have my family around me. To be taken seriously when I talk. I want to be the center of attention and be heard without interruptions or questions. I want to receive the same special care that the TV receives even when it is not working. Have the company of my dad when he arrives home from work, even when he is tired. And I want my mom to want me when she is sad and upset instead of ignoring me. And I want my brothers to fight to be with me. I want to feel that family just leaves everything aside every now and then just to spend some time with me. And last but not least, ensure that I can make them all happy and entertain them. Lord, I don't ask you for much. I just want to live like a TV." At that moment, the husband said, "My God, poor kid, what horrible parents." The wife looked up at him and said, "That is our son's essay."
We have been priced out of buying homes. We have been priced out of having kids. Our kids have been priced out of adulthood because most will never be able to leave the financial umbrella of their parents. We've been priced out of certain jobs. I literally can't work here or I'm losing money. We've been priced out of transportation, whether it's luxury item or just the maintenance of keeping transportation. We've been priced out of education, how much you spend on a degree versus what you get back from it, not worth it. We have been priced out of our neighborhoods, and now we're being priced out of the holiday season. People literally stood in line for hours to have Thanksgiving dinner at Golden Corral because it was cheaper than buying food and cooking for your family. All the reasons on why you were a productive, tax-paying, law-abiding citizen, we've been priced out of. So if there is no reward for being a good person or doing the right thing, there are going to be more people that are not going to try. We think that the youth is giving up now and they're not thriving. If we continue on this path, they're not going to give a damn. So if you're looking at all these snatch and grabs and thinking, "Oh, grab my pearls," just wait until you've seen the results of removing books from schools. You think we're being priced out of Black Friday, but we're actually being priced out of civility, because those sales, those new trinkets, those new items, those wants, those upgrades were the things that people thrived for and held on to on why they got up and went to work and did the things that they did. And if all of it's being taken away, you are now pricing us out of sanity and civility. We are living in a society that is creating savages because there's no reason to do right. And the only way I can get anything is if I take it. You're either going to eat or be eaten. And it's starting with this holiday season in 2023. You've priced people out of holiday joy. This is not going to end well.
Do you think this is the end of the Western civilization?
I hope so.
Well, why do you hope so?
Because it's toxic. It hasn't worked for the majority of the people in it for the last 500 years.
That's interesting. Can you elaborate on that? I've never heard someone say that. Everyone always says that it's been great until like the last 3, 4, 5 years. So explain why you feel like it's not worked.
It's a parasite that requires tremendous suffering for the majority of people living in some of the poorest conditions in the world in order to create a comfortable, luxurious life. But what that does more than anything is a human being was not designed for that kind of comfort or ease. It removes one of the most basic, fundamental parts of living your life, which is challenge, crisis.
Do you think this is
Everyone always asks how I get these government lists for wholesaling. You go here, the county courthouse. You go inside. We're inside, so we go to the public computers. There's a few of them around here. So I go to the Iowa judicial page. You go to the judicial page for whichever state you're in. For my county specifically, I go to How Do I, and I go to Search Court Records. This screen would come up. I go to Newspaper Abstract or Report, and you can search a county. And then this page will come up. You go here, you can pick divorces, you can pick liens, you can pick probates, all these different things. So we're gonna go with probates. And then we're gonna put dates. We're gonna put the last 30 days. So we put this in, and now we're gonna execute the report. After I press that, it'll pull up this Excel sheet. So after you get this, you can print it, and it's about 50 cents per page at my courthouse. Might be more at yours. But all you have to worry about is the deceased individual and the executor. The deceased individual, it shows the property that they had, and what you want to do is contact the executor about that property because they're the ones in charge of dealing with this property, selling it, holding on to it, whatever they decide to do. So you can call all these executors and find out if they're looking to sell that property that they had just inherited. So I always make sure that it says fit all columns on one page and take the margins off so it's cheaper. So right here, this is all of them. It was originally 8 pages, now it's only 1.5 pages. It says 3, but 1's back to back, so 1, still 1, and then another page. So we're gonna pay for these now.
Good to see you. Have a good one. That's how you guys get a list.
$1. And that's how you get the probate list for $1. Tell me there's a better marketing method for $1. Now that you have those, you want to go to truepeoplesearch.com and you want to type in the executor's name into True People Search, get their phone number, and then call them about the deceased individual's property. From there, you want to see if they're looking to sell. If they say yes, then hit me up and I'll help you with the rest, or learn from our page and learn how to completely close a wholesale deal. Now don't tell me that's too hard. It took literally 2 minutes to do this, so get out there and go get that list.
Continue our exploration of hidden sacred geometry patterns with the 6-pointed star form of the first level of our consciousness, which in the Western tradition is called the astral body. So while our etheric life body manifests in space as the 5-pointed form of a star or a pentagram, the astral body of consciousness has as one of its forms the hexagram in 3 dimensions, which is known technically as the stellated octahedron, or more popularly, as the star tetrahedron. Let's take a look at some of the sacred geometry secrets behind this form of our soul body, the astral body of consciousness. This journey into secrets of the Merkaba, our activated body of soul travel, will take us into core sacred geometry blueprints from the mind of God. In the esoteric tradition, each of the 4 elements is a manifestation of the primary subtle body levels. Earth equals our physical body. Water equals our etheric body of life force. Air equals our soul or astral body of consciousness. And fire equals our spirit core. So from the hidden temple teachings, the octahedron is the form which completes and encloses the cubical cross by connecting the ends of the 3 axes of physical space, whereas the cube encloses the cubical cross of physical space by creating a wall at the end of each axis. As we have seen, this makes the black cube of space, the divine thought form behind the container of the physical world for spirits to incarnate into. So the octahedron is the opposite polarity to the black cube container of the physical body. It is the astral body of consciousness within the physical. This is the sacred geometry from the mind of God, of how our soul life is hidden within our physical body. We need to remember that in the Hidden Temple teachings, the term astral comes from the root aster, meaning a star. A star is a point of light in the darkness. So the next part of the deeper Merkaba teaching is that many fundamental sacred geometry forms can be turned into a star form, a process called stellation. The basic geometric solid form is a vessel, a container, whereas the star form radiates outward like a sun, rather than containing. You will recall that when we do the zero-point centering process, we move all of our energy and attention dynamically into the center of the center of the center of an energetic location in our body, in order to connect to the divine center of that location and thereby activate it. Once we have activated that center, then the radiance process begins. The activated center streams out energy and light in all directions like a sun. This is the master method to activate any energy center in our body. It's a key technique for advanced spiritual practices.
Or he was this. From over the course of the 12th and 13th century into the 14th century, a form of evil which is directly traced by the Venetians themselves to the ancient Canaanite city of Tyre had arisen to great power in the north of the Adriatic Sea, the city of Venice, which has been in recent time, until he moved to London, the residence of Satan on earth. These people grew great power. They built a maritime power in the image of ancient Phoenicia, which is Canaan. Phoenicia is a Greek word. The people of that region were called the Canaanites. And the center of evil was Tyre. Tyre was destroyed by a great man, Alexander the Great. But the principle of Tyre lived on. And it came through the Roman Empire, it came to reside in Venice. And from about 800 AD on, Venice was an increasing power in the Mediterranean. It became a great sea power, which became a dictatorship over the Mediterranean over the period from the course of the 12th century into the beginning of the 13th century with the so-called Fourth Crusade. And I can tell you all the Crusades were frauds. They were all run by the Venetians. Nothing to do with Christianity. They had to do with something else. The Fourth Crusade was organized by Venice to conquer and loot Byzantium, which is its major competitor. And the Latin Empire in Byzantium was set up from 1204 to 1261, when a fellow called Michael Palaeologus overthrew it on behalf of the Greeks. But Venice became a great looting power. It crushed every element of civilization. It imposed evil cults. It spread the cult of Aristotle throughout the Mediterranean and other cults. It looted everything. It imposed its debt every place. It manipulated nations into making war on one another. They weren't real nations, but they were whatever passed for at that time. They plunged Europe into war and usury and looting and bestiality and cruelty. And nothing could seem to stop it. The political institutions of Europe collapsed at about 1250, or over the period 1250 to 1267, in a series of wars. A leading figure of the late 13th century and early 14th century, Dante Alighieri, typified those who fought desperately to save civilization from this pestilence of Venice and the Venetians' Mongol allies, who are attacking Europe from the west, from the east. Venice's power grew. Dante was probably murdered by the Venetians after a trip into Venice and its area. The ideas of Dante lived on through various networks. Not only Dante, but there were great Franciscans and others who continued the tradition, the Augustinian tradition, and developed it then as before. Then in the middle of the century, the 14th century, the whole system collapsed in a chain reaction of bankruptcy, starting with the King of England discovering, by checking with his priest, that not only was usury a mortal sin, but that he, as the King of England, by continuing to pay his debts to usury, was actually contributing to the eternal damnation of the soul of his creditors. The King of England repudiated his debts to the houses of Bardi and Peruzzi, which were Florentine-based, but they were key bankers of the period, who had looted every part of Europe through this bank. It's very much like the IMF conditionalities today. As a matter of fact, the IMF conditionalities are a repetition, a continuation of the Venetian tradition. They are evil. The people who run the IMF are evil. The bureaucrats of the IMF as a collectivity are purely evil. They are mass murderers. They have already killed far more people on this planet than Adolf Hitler succeeded in doing. They are wiping out the people of developing countries. What they've contributed to with their English masters, including Linda Chalker, who is the colonial minister, they call it overseas development now, but she's really the colonial minister from the House of Lords, who was given to us by Lady Thatcher, who is reputed to be a witch because she succeeded in transforming a merely bankrupt England into a rubbish heap. These people were crushed, and their political power was crushed by their bankruptcy. There's an analogy today. I'm not Plutarch, and I'm not a priest of the cult of Apollo, as he was, but comparisons are sometimes permitted. Today, as then, in the middle of the 14th century, the new Venetian Empire, which is the British Empire, or the Anglo-Dutch Empire, or whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing, is based on financial power. All finance and monetary systems today are divorced entirely from trade and production. They're engaged in pure speculation, in usury, debt as a form of usury, the looting of countries, of whole regions of the world. The power of the ruling oligarchy, which are like Venetian families, Ford Foundation, this foundation, that foundation. This is what runs the United States, not the government. This is what runs the world, not the governments. The governments are run by these powerful families and their oligarchical connections, who control the Washington Post. They control the New York Times. They control the 3 TV networks. They control Jane Fonda. You might not admit it, but she's a real right-wing fascist. They are looting the world. They have great power. People are afraid of them. They're afraid of the press. The Congress is afraid of the press. The Justice Department is controlled by these families. Everything is rotten is controlled by these families. People say, be smart. Don't get into trouble. Don't attack them. Don't attack the Queen of England. So the time has come, we say, well, what if these people suddenly lose their financial power? What if these banks go bankrupt? What if the IMF is liquidated? What if the international monetary institutions don't function? What if there's no facility by which these institutions can exert their power over society? Something like that which happened during the 14th century.
You're going to be cited for violating services in an ordinance. You've served more than 6 people, or 6 or more. All right.
It's going to be 1400 Lower, court number 3665 on the 19th of December. Okay? And it's conducted through service of Manuel Douglas on the property. So do a sign right now.
Thank you, sir. All right, thank you. Food Not Bombs, we just received ticket number 77 for serving the homeless in Houston for their feeding ordinance. We are here in the Central Library, and hopefully we can get a change to keep spreading the message and let people know what's happening here.
Scare your dog to see what they do.
Hey, girl.
The Latin alphabet we use comes from the Greek, which comes from the Phoenician, and if you wrap it around a circle, turn each letter 90 degrees, and combine them into two-letter pairs, you see that our alphabet comes from the stars. Note, however, that these three signs are reversed. These are individually mirrored. Cancer has a basket on its head, and Aquarius is missing. The letter reversals are due to the sun's analemma still present in the alphabet, and that's the figure 8 pattern that the sun draws on the sky each year, and the direction the sun is moving through each sign causes the letter reversals. Untie the alphabet on the 7th of 22 letters. The basket on Cancer's head marks the summer solstice. Aquarius is silent because the early peoples believed his waters to be the underlying fabric upon which all the other signs lived and moved and had their being. And we can answer more questions if we look into the pictographic meanings of each letter, or if we stack the alphabet on a 7-layer cake.
Christians can't bear any of this stuff. They can't hear any of this stuff. They can't hear about the astrological, astrology. They get freaked out. Oh, don't talk to me about that. And yet, in Genesis 1, the very first page, it says, God says, let the stars be for signs. Well, if the stars are for signs, shouldn't you figure out what they mean? Psalm 147 says God named all the stars. Why did he call them Sagittarius and Aquarius and Aquila and Coma? Why did he call them those things? Nobody knows. Do you know the whole Bible was written in the stars before it was ever put on paper? And you can read the Bible by looking at the stars? No, you say, well, that's ridiculous. No, it's not. It's true. I say, well, I don't believe, that the stars influence people. Then why does it say in Job 38:32, can you bind the sweet influence of the Pleiades? Can you loose the bands of Orion? They're stars. And it says in the Bible, it says they influence people. I'm telling you, it's a shame that we have been made afraid of nature and the cosmos by this religion that goes no further than a book.
In December of 2018, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office issued a number of seemingly proven repeatedly in experiments. Consider this: if helium superfluidity behavior looks strange to you, imagine how a technological craft with these properties may look to an observer. Dr. Pace says in the patent that such a craft as his may need to be of triangular shape or cone in order to work. Such technology concepts does raise the question, could the Tic Tac have in fact been a Navy weapons platform test? Or was it truly anomalous, perhaps non-human technology at work? You be the judge.
Shit's getting weird. Part Infinity.
Bay Area drivers are honking mad over a new proposal that would charge drivers for using freeways. Not just the express lane, but all lanes. The Metropolitan Transportation Commission, the MTC, is shopping the idea around of a small fee per mile for drivers. That fee would range from 10 to 30 cents, and that has a lot of drivers saying,
You got me effed up. That's what drivers are saying. You got me effed all the way to F up. This is a horrible idea. Somebody came in one day and was like, hey guys, I think we should charge people for driving on the freeway. And all y'all were like, yeah! Y'all must be delusional to think that you're going to pass that and citizens are going to be like, oh, yeah. That's crazy. Listen, I'm so ready to stop paying taxes. Like, I'm so ready to not pay taxes this year. But I'm scared because I don't want to be the only one doing it. It's got to be a collective thing because I ain't going to be asked out while everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, I'm so ready to just be like, you know what? You want this money? Come get it. Come get it. Because I ain't giving it to you. Hypothetically speaking. Because I know y'all be listening and shit.
They were shackled and chained together. They had hoods on them. The women began wailing and weeping. One of the prisoners in a loud voice said, Namach umfo metakwepi, hear me my people. Today is not a day of defeat. It is a day of victory. For we have made our peace with our Creator. We now go to be with Him forever. Remember this day to tell our children so they can tell their children that we are people who died a noble death. Do not mourn for us. Rejoice with us. It's a good day to God. And then he lifted up his voice and began singing.
America's the greatest country of all time. One nation under God. Funny you people say that because Google doesn't even have it listed in the greatest top 10 countries to live in. Nothing like working hard all week just for your paychecks to get taxed almost 40%. Then all that money that you worked hard for gets taxed again at every grocery store and place that you decide to spend money in that was already taxed. Nothing like paying taxes on things that you already owned, that you've already paid taxes on with already taxed money. Gotta love this freedom we got. Oh, you want to drive a car or a truck? You gotta spend money to go get a license. Then after you spend money to go get a license, you gotta go spend money to get a registration. Then after you spend money on your registration, you gotta go get a tag. Then after you spend money on your tag, you gotta go get insurance. Do you people not get it? It is all about money. But it gets a lot deeper than this. Oh, you want to go fishing? No. You must go get a license, a fishing license. And if you don't have one, you're going to get a ticket and they're going to fine the heck out of you. Then if you got a fishing license and you catch a fish 1 inch short of what they call for, they're going to give you a ticket and fine the heck out of you. Oh, but you want to go hunting now? No. You must have a hunting license. And the same concept applies to this too. Guys, the list goes on and on. I know people that have bought land with cash money and could not cut down trees on their own property until they got a permit or approval from the government. I've heard other stories of people buying land with old barns or old sheds on them, and the people that bought the land could do nothing to those old sheds until they got approval or a permit from the government. Where is the freedom? Also, don't even get me started on the second biggest scam in this country, which is insurance. Nothing like paying in money on a life insurance policy your whole entire life. Then when the person finally dies, they give you absolutely nothing. Back in 2018, when Hurricane Michael hit Panama City, Florida, and destroyed tens of thousands of homes here, tons of people here got screwed over massively because none of the insurance companies really wanted to pay. And then the people had nowhere to go and they basically became homeless. Insurance companies are completely corrupt and evil, and I'm sure several of you watching this video knows as well. This is all I'm gonna say. Stop paying your taxes and stop paying for insurance. Put that money aside and back in your own pocket. If everyone had this same idea, the whole country would be completely different right now. Isn't it amazing how we're letting 550 people corrupt, evil politicians control the lives of 330 million Americans. You people.
Ophiuchus is a deacon. Something, guys. This is the Dendera stone in Egypt. You can see how it's cut down the middle, and then it's a plus sign. Cut down the middle, plus sign. So what you do is if you get your ruler, and they actually told you where to put the ruler. Right between the knees and the elbow of Horus. Right between the knees and the elbow, and you get that one line. Now you put it right here between the knees and the elbow. Make sure you get that there, boom. And now you put it between the hands there, between the hands here, and then between the hands there and here. And you'll be able to cut it into 12 because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 of them. And each one gets their own 30 degrees of a 360 degree loop. Obviously this is Libra, but Libra barely has its foot in there. And this is Scorpio's, and he barely has his Scorpion in here. This is all Sagittarius, this is all Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So it's kind of, they still make a circle. Some of them go into other ones, like Virgo's not even in her room. She's in, she barely has the tip of her leaf over here. So it's kind of, you know, Leo's in 2 of them. So that's how it is. But that's why I'm saying Ophiuchus didn't have any room to go in. Ophiuchus is right here. Ophiuchus is here with Serpens holding a snake, because that's what he looks like. He's on top of Scorpio and Sagittarius. He has his foot on Scorpio, and Sagittarius is pointing his arrow at the foot of it, right on the Milky Way's core. So Ophiuchus is holding the snake, Serpens. There's Ophiuchus on Scorpio's back next to Sagittarius, pointing the arrow at the foot, holding Serpens. It's right there. So what we notice is that Ophiuchus is just a deacon in Scorpio. Each constellation is 30 degrees, 360 degrees. So 30 times 12 is 360. And that's how much space they get. So we can say that Leo is about 60 degrees long because he takes up 2 spaces. These are 30 degrees, 30 degrees. So he's like 60, he's long. Virgo's like 10 degrees. She takes up like 1/3 of a sign. She's not even that, she's thin. This guy's long. So if there was a constellation that was like a snake that just wrapped around the equator, it would be 360 degrees long. And it would have been in every sign. So the point is this. Draco takes up, he's near the North Pole, so he takes up 120 degrees, which is 1/3 of the sign. That's why it says in the Bible that the dragon pulls 1/3 of the heaven down in the stars, because Draco is 1/3 of the heavens, the stars. Let's show you. Draco is here, and he starts from there all the way here. So Draco is represented by this thing, and it's like a whole 4 zodiacs. So 4 times 3 is 12. So it's 1/3 of the heavens, the dragon. That's Draco. And here you have all the deacons within the sign. So Ophiuchus is always just going to be a deacon. He's never going to get his own sign because they divided it into 12. It's easy for the kids to do it, the children. So all the children were learning this and drawing it easy. Even number 2.
Pip? Come here, guy. Buddy?
¿Qué quiere? No.
Jesus Christ. The fuck? Everything's going all fucking haywire. We got alarms going off. Fucking Ryan's out on fucking patrol. Like there's a fucking poltergeist or some shit in here. Oh, fuck that! Oh, no, fuck this. Holy shit. No fucking way did that just fucking happen. Fucking. No fucking way. No fucking shit did that just fucking happen. Holy shit. What the fuck?
Right, so I'm working from home, and as usual, some madness going on in the hallway.
I think it's the problem.
What the fuck? Fucking see, I told you. There's no one in there.
No one could Pip?